Elimination Chamber has passed, and the road to WrestleMania is ahead of us. And yet, one thing that we can all take away from the pay-per-view is that Elimination Chamber was pretty fucking weird. And I'm not saying that it was inherently bad or not worth your time as a wrestling fan, but some of the decisions that WWE made are a bit puzzling, especially when you consider the fallout that is now probably going to lead to a WWE Championship change this week on SmackDown. And a lot of this reportedly has to do with a lot of the plans for WrestleMania shifting greatly over the past couple of weeks. And in this video, I'm going to try to make sense of it all, try to lock in what I think is going to happen leading into Mania, and why some of the decisions that were made at Elimination Chamber to me are so puzzling. All that much more coming up right here in this video. I'm Big Ohm for Real Take Wrestling. Be sure to smash that thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Let's dive right in. So at Elimination Chamber, we saw a whole host of matches, 2 Elimination Chamber matches, 1 men, 1 women's, and the women's one was won by Rhea Ripley. To me, there really wasn't another outcome you could have here. While all of the competitors in this match were competitive and were all worthy of eventually challenging for the belt, right now, the truth is, there is no bigger star in the women's division and arguably in all of WWE outside of Roman Reigns than Rhea Ripley. She is on all the posters. She is selling some of the most merch that the company's ever sold. She is mommy and everything that entails. So a lot of the criticism that you're hearing about Rhea being Hogan or Rhea just winning all the time and that getting stale, while is a legitimate criticism as far as how they're doing it and maybe some of that stuff lacking the luster of what you would expect from a large hero that Rhea Ripley is portrayed to be, the fact of the matter is, back in the day when Hogan was on top, Hogan was main eventing the big shows. When Stone Cold Steve Austin was on top, Stone Cold Steve Austin was main eventing the big shows. And in that same way, Rhea Ripley should be in that world title picture, main eventing those big shows like WrestleMania. So in the end, I am not questioning this decision, but what I am questioning is how far are they going to go with this and how far can they get with a Jade Cargill, Rhea Ripley potential matchup at WrestleMania. And this is no shade to Jade Cargill. I am a huge fan of her work, especially her work earlier in her career in AEW, but it is a little bit puzzling to me to put her in this match with Rhea, considering the fact that Jade has not had a lot of time to build large matches in her WWE run. She has been either injured or just off TV, not defending her world championship. And to me, that is a bit of a red flag. Not in that I don't think she could do it, but I'm not confident in that matchup as I would be a Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan rematch, or a Rhea Ripley versus Asuka match that you know on the big stage of WrestleMania will certainly deliver. And unfortunately, we are not going to have the luxury of having a huge build. There's only really a month and a half at most until WrestleMania. So we'll have to see what happens, but I am kind of questioning this, but not nearly as much as I'm questioning what the fuck happened in that men's Elimination Chamber match. So the men's Elimination Chamber was a mess of a match, and you had some botches, you had some spots that didn't really develop or materialize, and you of course had 2 of your best young homegrown stars in Javon Evans and Trick Williams, both of whom were over. Trick Williams, who has more aura than arguably anyone in WWE right now, both getting jobbed out to Logan Paul because Logan Paul must win, LOL. And to me, this was a scenario that called for, I think, a young, up-and-coming talent to not necessarily make the final 2, because I get they're trying to tell the story between Randy and Cody, but at least get to that final 3. Make them feel like they're a threat. Trick Williams is someone that people are legitimately talking about winning the World Championship at SummerSlam. If that is the case, you need to start establishing him hard right now. And the fact that it didn't do it was very puzzling to me, because now, all right, you have a feud set up for Logan Paul because you had that Seth Rollins return, and that's probably going to be the big match at WrestleMania for those two. You obviously are building up stuff with Drew and Cody and Randy, which we'll talk about. We will talk about this because, oh, I got thoughts. But whereas you have stuff for those guys, the LA Knights of the world, the Trick Williams of the world, the Javon Evans of the world, all of whom were highlighted in this matchup, all of whom didn't last that long, all of whom were eliminated by Logan fucking Paul. What are they doing? Where's their advancement? Where's their storyline for WrestleMania? We don't know. This is a time where you're supposed to be doing that. We only have a month until the show, and part of the idea of Elimination Chamber is hooking you for those moments, hooking you for those feuds, hooking you for those stars, and they failed epically in doing that for these young stars in Trick Williams and Javon Evans. But now we get to the fun part, the Cody, Randy, and apparently Drew McIntyre feud that is kicking off. So a couple of weeks ago, there was a lot of words spreading around about the plans for Mania. You know, we knew that originally, apparently, it was supposed to be Roman and Cody, and that was the big match for the title that everyone kind of presumed Roman was going to win. But eventually, there were some discussions, and it looks like instead of doing that, WWE has gone in the direction of doing Roman versus Punk on one side, and then Randy Orton, who won the Elimination Chamber, versus either Cody or Drew. Now, at Elimination Chamber, we saw the final two, Cody and Randy Orton, two guys who know each other, two guys who have a history, two guys who embody the spirit of a pupil and a teacher. And we saw Drew McIntyre interrupt their final bout to determine the winner of the Elimination Chamber, to have Cody get beat down by Drew, only to see Randy deliver an RKO, followed by a crossroads to Drew McIntyre, directly into another RKO by Randy Orton, because Randy Orton is a snake, you see, and he slithers around and he cutters people. But you had that really cool finish, and I will tell you, it is a really cool finish. And then, in the follow-up to that, on the post-show, Nick Aldis announced that on SmackDown, you will have Drew McIntyre defending the WWE Championship against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And the reason this is important is because a couple of weeks ago, word was also making the waves that Cody Rhodes was probably going to enter WrestleMania as the world champion. And the reason that this was news to everybody is because people didn't know how that would happen, because Cody was in Elimination Chamber at that point. Cody was not competing for the WWE Championship at the pay-per-view, so people were wondering, how the fuck is Cody gonna get the belt? Well, here's how. He will win on Friday. I think Drew will end up doing a feud with Nick Aldis, and that will be their Mania match, whereas you will finally have Cody versus Randy, but in a weird way, because instead of winning the belt on a major show, instead of Drew getting that big match on a PLE, Drew McIntyre will have won the belt on a SmackDown and then lost a belt on a SmackDown, which, not wholly opposed to, it is just weird. And my point with all of this is, it just felt like this was a mess in order to get there, because my big question is, yes, Drew interfered. Yes, Drew was in there and attacking Cody and potentially costing him the match. Question mark. Did he really? That's the key question. I don't think Drew cost Cody the match. I think that costing him the match would have involved Cody Rhodes getting beat down, being vulnerable in the middle of the ring by Drew McIntyre, and then Randy taking advantage simply like that. This was a case where Randy Orton stopped Drew from beating Cody's ass, and then when Cody hit that crossroads on Drew McIntyre, then Randy pounced. That, to me, is not costing Cody anything. That, to me, is Randy, sure, taking advantage, but it was after he had already tried to neutralize Drew McIntyre. So the idea of Cody getting screwed here makes no sense, which is why the match that they're having on Friday doesn't really track to me. And I think, despite the fact that Cody's probably going to win, it's going to be a huge moment, and everyone's going to be like, wow! It's a weird way to get to a match that everyone simply wants to see, and a match that I think is going to be a little bit fresh for the main event of Mania, Cody versus Randy. And these two are two of the best to ever do it. These two have a history, and we will talk about that in another video. But right now, I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about Elimination Chamber? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Did you think the topsy-turvy way things ended were kind of confusing? Let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, I'm Big Ohm for Real Take Wrestling. Be sure to smash that thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.